Emotions don't care about plans. They don't care about potential. They don't care about how smart or talented someone is. If emotions are in control, everything else becomes decoration. Most lives fall apart quietly, not because of failure, not because of bad luck, but because emotions were allowed to sit in the driver's seat for too long. Anger made decisions. Fear chose comfort. Desire chose distraction. Ego chose shortcuts. And discipline never even got invited. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Weakness isn't about strength. It's about reactions. Anyone can lift weight. Anyone can learn skills. Anyone can talk about goals. But reacting without control turns effort into noise. Every time emotions spike, logic goes offline. That's how people sabotage themselves while believing they're being real. Look around. Most people aren't destroyed by enemies. They're destroyed by moods. A bad morning ruins the whole day. One insult changes behavior. One rejection shifts direction. One uncomfortable feeling sends them scrolling, eating, escaping, numbing. That's not freedom. That's being programmable. The mind wasn't designed to be comfortable. It was designed to solve problems, but comfort feels good in the moment, so emotions sell it as safety. The brain listens because it hates uncertainty, so it chooses familiar pain over unfamiliar growth. That's how stagnation becomes normal. Emotions evolve to protect survival, not success. Fear keeps the body alive. Anger creates bursts of energy. Pleasure rewards behavior. None of these care about long-term outcomes. They care about now, and now is the most dangerous time to make decisions. This is why intelligence alone means nothing. Smart people panic too. Talented people quit too. Emotional control is the separator. The one who stays calm when pressure hits. The one who doesn't rush to feel better. The one who lets discomfort sit without reacting. Most men don't lose direction all at once. It happens in small moments, skipping work because motivation is low, responding emotionally to disrespect, chasing validation when feeling empty, avoiding silence because thoughts get loud. These moments feel harmless. They aren't. Every reaction trains the nervous system. React fast, and it learns impulsivity. Escape discomfort, and it learns avoidance. Chase pleasure, and it learns dependence. Over time, the system gets predictable. Predictable people are easy to control. By habits, by impulses, by other people. Control doesn't mean suppressing emotions. Suppression leaks. It comes out as anger, anxiety, or exhaustion. Control means observing without obeying, feeling without following, letting the emotion exist without letting it decide. There's a gap between feeling and action. Most people never notice it. They feel something and move instantly. That gap is power. That gap is where choice lives. If that gap stays empty, emotions fill it. If awareness fills it, control begins. Anger isn't strength. It's borrowed energy with interest. It gives speed but removes accuracy. Fear isn't weakness either. It's information. But information gets distorted when panic speaks louder than reason. Desire isn't evil. It's fuel. But fuel without direction burns everything around it. The problem starts when identity merges with emotion. Feeling sad becomes being broken. Feeling angry becomes being dominant. Feeling anxious becomes being careful. Emotions are temporary signals, not personality traits. Treating them as identity traps growth. Most people believe emotions are honest. They aren't. They exaggerate. They dramatize. They lie to protect comfort. The mind tells stories to justify reactions. I deserved that break. That disrespect couldn't slide. This isn't the right time. All excuses sound logical when emotions write the script. Discipline isn't about forcing action. It's about refusing negotiation. Once the mind learns that emotions can renegotiate standards, consistency dies. Progress becomes optional. Control comes from setting rules that don't change with mood. Silence is where emotional control sharpens. No music, no phone, No distractions, just thoughts passing through without interruption. That's uncomfortable, because emotions surface when noise leaves. Most people avoid this, because they confuse discomfort with danger. But discomfort is data. It shows what hasn't been processed, what's been avoided, what still has power. Sitting with it weakens its grip. Running from it strengthens it. The mind learns that escape is available, so it demands it faster next time. Confidence isn't loud. It's stable. It doesn't spike. It doesn't collapse. It stays even. Emotional control creates that. The calm response when insulted. The steady pace when others rush. The quiet refusal to be pulled into chaos. Most people want to feel motivated before acting. That's backward. Motivation follows action when emotions aren't allowed to veto effort. Waiting to feel ready hands control mood swings. Acting despite emotion trains dominance over the internal environment. There's a reason chaos feels addictive. High emotion creates stimulation. Calm feels empty at first. The nervous system gets used to spikes. Drama, stress, intensity. Peace feels boring to a system addicted to cortisol. Control means tolerating that boredom until clarity replaces it. Social media feeds this addiction. Constant comparison, constant outrage, constant validation loops. Emotions stay activated all day. No recovery, no baseline, just reaction after reaction. That's not accidental. Reactive people consume more. Emotional control requires energy. Sleep matters, nutrition matters, training matters. A depleted body can't regulate a stressed mind. Most people ignore this, and then wonder why discipline feels impossible. Biology sets the ceiling for control. But even with perfect habits, moments will hit. Loss, rejection, failure, pressure. Control isn't avoiding emotion in those moments. It's not letting pain rewrite direction, feeling it fully, then choosing deliberately anyway. Revenge feels satisfying short-term. It steals focus long-term. Proving something to others burns energy that should be used to build leverage. Indifference isn't weakness, it's efficiency. Most arguments aren't about truth. They're about emotional discharge. Winning doesn't matter, control does. The one who stays calm decides when the interaction ends. Power isn't domination, it's non-reactivity. The ability to pause when provoked, to breathe when insulted, to think when rushed. That's rare. That's threatening. That's why controlled individuals unsettle emotional ones. Control also means accepting responsibility for internal states. Blaming circumstances feels good, but removes agency. Ownership hurts at first, but creates options. Once emotions are seen as internal events, not external commands, freedom increases. Growth requires emotional friction. Fear before progress. Doubt before mastery. Anxiety before competence. Expecting confidence first guarantees stagnation. Control means moving while emotions complain in the background. The strongest version of a man isn't emotionless. It's selective. Choosing when emotion gets expression and when it doesn't. Letting anger fuel training, not conversation. Letting sadness deepen focus, not halt momentum. Most people don't need more motivation. They need fewer emotional excuses. Less internal drama. Less attachment to how things feel. More commitment to how things are done. Over time, emotional control compounds. Reaction slow. Focus sharpens. Confidence stabilizes. Others feel it without explanation. Respect follows predictability. Trust follows consistency. The world rewards those who can stay composed under pressure. Not the loudest, not the most expressive, the most stable. Stability is intimidating in chaotic environments. Control is built in boring moments, daily choices, small pauses, saying no to impulse, finishing tasks without excitement, training when motivation is low. That's where dominance over emotion forms. Eventually, emotions stop fighting. They learn their place. They become signals, not rulers. The mind becomes quiet, not empty. Clear, not numb. That clarity changes everything. Decisions get faster. Regret fades. Direction locks in. Distractions lose appeal. Validation becomes irrelevant. Inner authority replaces external approval. Most people will never reach this. Not because it's impossible, because it's uncomfortable. Control demands accountability without applause. Silence without reassurance. Progress without instant reward. But for those who commit, life stops feeling chaotic. Pressure becomes manageable. Fear becomes manageable. The internal storm settles, and when emotions no longer control behavior, nothing external really can. Cold minds don't beg. They decide.